Why, hello, my royal subjects. King Solomon here, the wisest man in all the earth. Oh, yes, yes. Hold your applause, hold your applause. Oh, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about myself because I'm so awesome. One night, while I was asleep, God appeared to me in a dream, and He said I could have anything I wanted. So do you know what I asked for? Well, I thought about asking for money. I thought about asking to have my enemies removed. I thought about asking for a long life, but what I decided to ask for was wisdom. And so God gave me wisdom. He made me to be the wisest king in all the earth. I know all about the cedars of Lebanon. You see, here in the royal palace, I have these cedar beams. Everything is made of cedar. We love cedar here in Israel. And I hear that this wood paneling is going to come back in style sometime around 1970. So you guys get ready for it. But I got all this cedar from my friend Hiram. He's the king of a place called Tyre. Me and Hiram are like this. We do all sorts of stuff together. I mean, he helps me with building the temple and building my palace, and I help him with conquering towns and giving him towns, even if he thinks they're worthless. But, and sometimes me and Hiram even like to go sailing together. We have a fleet of ships on the Mediterranean Sea. We've got a fleet of ships on the Red Sea. Our ships on the Red Sea that have some of his guys and some of my guys on them, they go all the way to Ophir and get gold. I don't even know where Ophir is. I'm not even sure I'm saying it right. I don't know if it's pronounced Ophir, but all I know is mine and Hiram's ships go there, and they came back with 16 tons of gold. 16 tons. I mean, I'm not getting older or deeper in debt. I don't owe my soul to the company store because I got 16 tons of cold, hard gold. I got so much gold it's coming out of my ears. Whoop, see, right there, gold coming out of my ears. You want some? You want some gold? You can have some gold. You want some gold? Some gold for you. And you get some gold. And you get some gold. Oh, we just got so much gold now. I mean, used to, like when my dad David was king, I mean, he was a pretty good guy. He served God faithfully for his whole life and all. But, you know, they only had a little bit of gold and they still had silver. I got so much gold here in my kingdom that nobody even cares about silver anymore. They're like, ooh, there's a piece of silver on the ground. Keep walking. Nobody even cares about silver anymore. I'm so wise, people from all around come to hear my wisdom. You should have been here when that Queen of Sheba came to check it out. She thought she had heard how great our kingdom was, but when she got here and she saw it for herself, she hadn't even heard the half of it. It was so much more awesome than she ever thought. I do love the sound of my gold just jangling in the coin pouch. Check it out. You know, I would give you this whole pouch of gold with all these gold coins in it if you could guess how many wives I've got. Yep, that's right. I don't just have a nice palace and fleets of ships and all kinds of gold everywhere. I have more wives than, well, probably anybody. What's that? 700 wives. Yep, and 300 other women. Woo! That's a lot. Okay, who wants this? You know, I thought having all these wives was going to be great. I thought that I was going to get to do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and just have anything in the world at my fingertips. But turns out, having all these wives from all these different countries who worship all these idols and false gods kind of distracted me from serving and obeying the one true God. But I can't really blame them. It's not their fault. They didn't convince me to do it, because if I'm really honest, in my heart, I was already having trouble obeying and following God, or I wouldn't have married that many women in the first place. Yeah, I guess I just thought that I was too wise, too powerful. It couldn't happen to me. But here I am now, at the end of my life. I haven't obeyed God for a long time. I even built places to worship these idols and false gods right here in Jerusalem. Yep, that was a pretty bad idea. Now, I know my dad, David, I know he messed up pretty bad in some ways in his own life. He had some pretty bad sins. But David always repented of his sins, and he always returned to God. And that's called faithfulness. I heard in the future you guys have this thing called a word wall, and the word on your word wall today is faithfulness. Faithfulness means choosing to obey God for your whole life, even if you mess up sometimes. Yep, that's what David did. David followed God with his whole heart. He was a good dad, even though I've made some bad choices and I haven't had the same kind of faithfulness that he did. I've started worshiping all these other gods, and it has not been a good choice for me. In fact, God told me just the other day that my kingdom is going to be torn from me. It's going to be ripped away, just like a torn piece of cloth. It's going to be given to Jeroboam. He's going to have 10 tribes, and my son, Rehoboam, is only going to have 1 tribe. It makes me sad. I've made a lot of bad choices. But I hope that you guys can learn from my choices. Even though I was so wise and had all this gold and all these things, all this cedar, doesn't really matter in the end. All that matters is to fear God and to keep His commandments. And I hope that that will help you guys to have faithfulness. Faithfulness, that's one of the fruit of the Spirit. To be faithful to God for your whole life, even if you do mess up. To choose to repent, confess those sins, and come back to God. I hope that you guys are more like my dad David and not like me. I hope that you have faithfulness.